Having spent 5 years as part of a coalition government, the Conservative Party entered the 2015 general election aiming to add 20 MPs in the House of Commons. The exit poll appeared positive for the party. Whilst initial impressions were sceptical, the poll was almost completely accurate. It gave the Labour Party 239, the Conservatives a huge 316, and the Lib Dems a crushing 10. If correct, the exit poll predicted the Conservatives to be just 10 seats short of an absolute majority. After all the results were called, Labour walked away with 232, the Conservatives 331, and the Lib Dems only 8. This night saw David Cameron's party gain 24 MPs. A momentous victory for the Conservatives it may have been, but here in the South, the party's battle for Westminster started years before the election was underway. The 2013 Eastleigh by-election was a disaster for the Conservative Party. Liberal Democrat Mike Thornton claimed victory, with UKIP pushing the Conservatives into third place. The Conservative Party had to raise its game if it was to flush out the threat of a rising UKIP and a strong Lib Dem presence. In the lead up to the election, the Tories threw everything they had at the South. They flooded the area with big-name Conservative ministers appearing week in and week out. David Cameron himself made an appearance, as did Claire Perry, Esther McVeigh, Ed Vasey,
issue is to
Saeed
first of
Javid,
all see it
and
to those
Matthew Hancock.
more challenging.
But as the nation went to the polls, had the Conservatives done enough to win over votes here in the South?
Hello and welcome to election night here on Winchester News Online.
Two parties were in the coalition. We have one that is obviously expected to do very well tonight, and we have another that we don't need to expect. It's obvious they're doing very, very badly.
As the first few results are coming in for seats across the country, things are beginning to heat up in key marginal seats like Milton Keynes South that could well win this election. And with the results of Nuneaton, another key marginal seat, coming in with a comfortable Conservative win, the atmosphere here is very much one of doubt as to whether or not Labour will be able to defeat their rivals and break what may soon become a trend across the country.
People have come out in power and in force and in numbers, and that's what's made a big difference to the Conservatives. People have voiced their approval of their participation in the coalition compared to the Lib Dems.
Huge news here in the South for the Conservatives. The Conservative Party have taken Eastleigh.
And I do hereby declare that Mims Davis is duly elected Member of Parliament for Eastleigh. Thank you.
We've had some breaking news here in the newsroom. Esther McVeigh, the Employment Secretary, the Conservative Employment Secretary, a Cabinet member, has actually just lost her seat. It wasn't all victory for the Conservative Party. Conservative Minister Esther McVeigh was the highest profile Tory loser, being defeated by Labour in her seat of Wirral West. But even any bad news was offset against yet more news of Conservative candidates winning seats across the region. Here, Conservative Royston Smith has run into victory, knocking out the young Rowena Davis.
I'm here in Southampton Guildhall with the winner from Southampton Itchin, Royston Smith. Royston, how does it feel?
It's good. It's very good. You know, we've been 8 years trying to get elected to Parliament, 15 years in Southampton, so it didn't happen overnight. And as you can imagine, you know, we've come to the end of this part of the journey, and now we've got another journey to go on for the people of Southampton.
It's very, very surprising. It's a very big gain for them in the South, very big gain for them with national importance. I think David Cameron someone will be telling him this result now, and he will have a big smile on his face.
The Conservatives will now have to tackle big questions over Britain's future, particularly membership of the European Union and the country's economic deficit. Perhaps more importantly is how will the Tories deal with the triumph of the Scottish National Party after an election that may not only reshape British politics, but could perhaps reshape the future of the United Kingdom itself.